Perhaps the last few minutes of Paulo Dybala as an AS Roma player. It's the 88th minute here. Cagliari Roma tied 0-0, and Paulo is on the ball. He switches play beautifully. He should have had an expected assist, an expected match-winning assist. In fact, just a few minutes ago, 10 minutes after he came on. And maybe this is what we had wanted all season, just a couple minutes here of seeing him and Sule together. The Argentinians, unfortunately, Paredes is disqualified for this match, but also Dovbyk and the Trident that these three could have been something really special. And this is, look, you can look at it so many different ways, and we've discussed them on this channel. The pluses, the minuses. Yes, Roma get to save money. Yes, Roma can build chemistry in their offense without a player who plays 57 to 60% of the time. But simultaneously, I feel so much regret, and I do feel really sad knowing that this is probably the last 2-3 minutes that Dybala is going to be a Roma player, and he's at the top of the 18, switches play again after driving, and actually switches to nobody. That was an unforced error by Dybala, who puts his head down and is clearly just, he's disappointed with himself there. But it's the 90th minute, and actually Tammy Abraham, of all players, is stepping up. They're also going for broke here in Sardinia, as well as El Shaarawy. It's a full-out attack. Now you're going to have Dybala, Sule, Abraham, Dovbyk comes out. Baldanzi is in there. But it's very cool to see Abraham and El Shaarawy together right now. Yes, Dovbyk is out. So you're going to have Dybala along with these two, as well as Sule and Cristante still on the pitch as the defensive midfielder. I don't remember if Pellegrini was taken out or not. Perhaps you want to remind me of that in the comments. But guys, how are you doing? You know I'm Wayne Gerard, and it's nice to be with you on the match opener of the season opener here in Sardinia. It now has hit 90 minutes, so we are into added time. Roma desperately searching for a goal. Just going to look at Twitter real quick and see what's going on. Not too much, nothing crazy. Pellegrini on the ball, dispossessed. Matteo Prati had a good game. Defensive midfielder for Cagliari. Held himself well throughout the match. But here is an opportunity by Lapadula, who puts it in, tries to drive towards the goal, and sees it blocked, earning a corner for Cagliari. And Spilar just trying to organize everybody here. Let me know where you're coming in from, guys. This is the first stream of the season, first stream of the 2024-25 season. And as we are in almost the 90+2 minute mark, there's no subs available for Roma. Ticker comes up, but there is a late corner kick for the Rosso Blue. Swung in. Just nicked about 10 yards out. Dybala has the ball. Maybe that's his last kick as a Roma player with his right foot. Tries to get up to Baldanzi, who shouldered off. De Rossi puts his hands up in the air, and looks like the Cagliari player has received a yellow card for his foul of stopping the counterattack against Baldanzi. Yeah, he was ripped from the back by number 37. Cristante, perhaps one last drive, and plays it backwards. Cristante, what are you doing? Not the ball. Abraham plays it back, and it's going to be repossessed by Cagliari, who have won. Just Lapadula, and he's trying to incorporate his teammates. Now it's a 3-on-2 for Cagliari. A shot coming in here from the top of the box, and it is shanked. Looks like Seliku's on the floor, but everybody's got to get up right now. They've got to keep on pushing for one last try. Draws all around, unless you're Napoli, who got thumped by Hellas Verona, but Inter as well as Milan also coming up with draws. Juventus yet to play. That will be tomorrow. Matt says Baldanzi everywhere today. It has been a really nice addition. I like to see him getting on the ball. If this really is Dybala's last match, it's great to see that Baldanzi has really picked up the slack and says, hey, I want to be that guy who gets on the ball. I want to make goal-scoring opportunities and keep possession and drive players forward. So I like seeing that about him. Let's get a nice little banner in here. What do we got? We got Dybala updates. Yeah, we'll keep this on. It's going to be 90 plus 4. Surely just a minute left now. Just 60 seconds to go. Thanks for hanging out with me today, Matt. Nice to see you. Mancini on the ball. Mancini with a 45-yard pass. Lob down the pitch, meets Abraham. Abraham's looking around. He has nobody with his back to goal. Abraham's still trying to work on it, but it looks like Coyote player has stripped him, starting another counterattack. I think the referee is just about to blow his whistle. But no, there's still 25 seconds to go. Lapadula finds himself on the right flank here, trying to drive inward, but Cristante with the save. Excellent positional awareness there by the center mid. And Abraham has played Indica, of all players, up the pitch. Way high, the left center back. Plays it back to Pellegrini. Pellegrini has a diamond with Selic to the right. Now, a shot in from long range, some 30 yards out by El Shaarawy. And El Shaarawy would have... man, that would have been such a nice goal for him to score on the season opener. And the referee blows the final whistle. Davide Nicola gives it a hug to Daniele De Rossi. The two shake hands. Pavoletti steps off the pitch. So not only Roma going for broke here, also Pavoletti with Lapadula. I think even Roberto Piccoli was still on the pitch. So they put a lot of players forward, and they went for it. I like that attitude from the Sardinian side, but Roma regrettably failing to score here tonight. Probably the best chance of the night after Dovbik's header that hit the post from Dybala was a long-range effort that Sule had. But now we can X out of the game, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Let's go to FotMob and see what they had to say about today's game. But guys, nice to see you. I think some people are trickling in as this match has ended. Let me know what you thought of today's match. Let me know how you're feeling regarding Dybala's situation. Also, of what you thought of how the team played throughout these 94 minutes. The good, the bad. We'll be hitting all of that in the next half hour or so. But as I'm quickly looking over the stats, just a glance, it's not too good, and they're actually somewhat relative. So let's get this up on the screen. I'm just trying to mess around with it real quick. Let's see what we got. FotMob, where are you? Okay, here we go. So the one thing that you'll notice is possession, 57%. If we were to take this same match last season, Salernitana season opener, that was way less, probably around 40 to 42%. It's a very different Roma. Expected goals, roughly the same, 0.92 versus 0.94. That's remarkably similar between Roma and Cagliari. Total shots are also quite similar. Big chances, actually, Cagliari leading just 2-1. But like I said, so similar. Some of the substitutions by De Rossi today, I thought they were good. Look, Lefi comes out for Baldanzi. Baldanzi comes in, as Matt Campea mentioned, does a very good job. Dybala comes in for Zalewski and switches Sule out to the left, Dybala over to the right. Lavumbo was taken out, who had a pretty good match, as well as Prati for Adopo and Pavoletti. Abraham comes in late for Dovbik with El Shaarawy, who does take out Sule. But here was your starting lineup today, everybody. We see Svilar, or Matthias Svilar, who gets to start over Ryan. Ryan's he's a substitute guy. But the back four, Selic, Mancini, and Dika, Angelino. Angelino has changed his number, no longer number 69. And it's actually taken number 3. So we'll change there. In the double pivot, at least on paper, it was Lefe or Lefi, however you pronounce it. Maybe somebody who knows a little bit more French wants to give me some grammar lessons with Cristante, but it was really more like Lefi and Pellegrini were playing closer on a similar line, whereas Cristante was the deepest of those. Zalewski got the start over El Shaarawy, perhaps just because of endurance. I didn't think he was bad, but he didn't really change the game. He had one good look. Pellegrini, of course, the captain with Sule on the right, his first game along with Dovbik. So that is 3 starts, 3 debuts today. Just confirming, yes, Lefty, Sule, and Dovbyk. And there's going to be, I think, a lot more that changes over the next week and 6 days, right? Week and 5 days, 12 days now until the Mercato closes. So just some player ratings off of FotMob. Dybala was actually the best for the substitutes. That's a 7.0 that he was given. And Sule got that 7.2. That's not the highest on the pitch, once again, according to FotMob. The highest went to 7.7 Alguello, if he's Spanish. I'm not sure what his background is, as well as Zappa, the right center back for Cagliari. So we keep looking. Guys, we've got to figure out, well, we don't have to figure out, but we can talk about it, right? How does Gisolfi handle this? It's so late in the market. Like I said, just 12 days to go. We know Dybala is going to get this massive package. He's going to be paid out. Who's next? Does Roma go for Chiesa? Would Chiesa have opened up this type of cagey match where Cagliari honestly defended very well? They collapsed very quickly and were organized in defense. They often played a low block. They attacked with 1, 2, maybe 3, or even 4, but not much more than that. I'm going to pop up some of the comments here, and you can keep those coming in. Matt says, it's obviously too early to freak out, but man, Roma could have done so much better. A couple opportunities that didn't go into the back of the net. Yes, for sure. Could Roma have been not just more clinical, but had better team movements? Also, yes. And I think Germanicus, my friend here, points that out too, that he's disappointed, missed opportunities, should have been an easy 3 points. Away, first match of the season, still working out the kinks, new players, the Dybala issue, the players perhaps not totally concentrated. If it's just 99%, perhaps it's that 1% which could have made the difference today. Sine says, not bad, to be honest. Wanted to see a Dybala winner for the farewell, but it is what it is. Yeah, that would have been such gaucho poetry. But on that left, what happens now? It's not going to be Zalewski or El Shaarawy. They're not going to be the set starter. Martial, I don't know. Martial has big wages. Zaha has big wages. Jeremy Boga, I don't want him to come and waste Roma's time. I don't think he's at that level. So if it's not Chiesa, I'm not sure what Gisolfi does, but there's other players out there who could be really intriguing. In fact, this is not something that I designed on one of these formation builders, but I want to take a look at, I got some funny stuff for you today, also in a few minutes. I want to take a look at this setup and what that would be. I'm not going to pretend like I've seen all of these players play in real life. In particular, Kone, who is highly rated, as well as Samuel Dahl, who we're yet to see. Abdul Hamid at right back, Assignon, I've only seen him play in YouTube. Riquelme is highly rated. So take a look around here from right to left, starting in the defense. Assignon, Mancini, Indica, Angelino. I think this would be a very nice back four. In midfield, this is, of course, hypothetical. Starting Paredes to the left, Lefty, to the right, Kone. Like I said, haven't seen Kone play, but highly rated, okay? Sule, Dovbyk, and Riquelme. Riquelme, I have seen a couple clips on, and I know that the Atletico Madrid fans are really upset at the possibility of losing this guy. So I guess this guy, Ben, not our Ben, he tried to come at me, but I think he understands. I had to come back at him. I try not to get petty, but every once in a while, you come at me, man. Just you gotta hit me in the right time, the right place, and I'll come back at you, bro. I don't know who this Abdul Hamid guy is, but people say he's very good. He would be the first Saudi Arabian player, I think, in all of Serie A. But I don't think that Pellegrini would ever be benched, but we'll see what happens. You don't know. You don't know what De Rossi does. De Rossi wants the best for Roma. I don't think that he really plays favorites. Other good stuff we have going on today is this beauty of a meme. Speaking of Antonio Conte, they got absolutely thrashed by Hellas Verona. And if you know Gomorrah, this is Scampia, the area which was built after World War II, which has become crime-ridden because these act as closed communities. And I don't want to get into the whole socio-political history of Napoli, but it's a very funny meme. We'll keep going. This I'm going to miss a lot, my friends. That piercing gaze as he steps over a free kick for Roma. You don't know where it's going to hit. It's going into the back of the net, and you can celebrate. You can throw your baby up in the air. You can kiss your girlfriend or your husband, whatever you do. Oh, man. I really hope this isn't it, but yeah, it sure does feel like it is. Like it's it. It's unfortunate. I do have some good news. This guy Coletta, not a guy, he's a kid. He's a teenager. Scored 3 goals in Roma's match today, 4-1 over Cagliari. So any familiar names we have there? Not too many. Sek, Manini, Golic, he's center back. He's been there. He's been at the Primavera level quite a while. Yeah, Coletta. So maybe he gets some minutes soon for the first team. We'll see what happens there. Let's take a look at what's going on ForzaRoma.info. And guys, nice to see you. We've got people coming in now. Write in some comments. Let me know what you think. Marco is in the house. What's up, my friends? My friend, Marco. Yes, Gamora. Yeah, Ben. Like, come on, bro. Just talking on Twitter. Let me be. Let me do my thing. I just think Roma, not the whole city. Well, I don't know what you mean by that today. Okay, you have other comments here. Anyway. Joe says, can we sell Pellegrini and Cristante to Saudi instead? Such is life. C'est la vie, Joe. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not agreeing. But, maybe Cristante. Imagine they were like, we'll offer you $20 million for Cristante, for your nice, shiny Brian. I'd be like, okay. Arrivederci, Brian Cristante. Marco says, also, sell Pellegrini and Cristante and keep Dybala. Okay. Thanks, Annette. Yeah. So, first Saudi player in Serie A would be Abdul Hamid, the right back. So, what else we got going on here? Dramaticus. Yes. Thanks, Dramaticus. Thank you. Keep on pushing. This YouTube's not going anywhere. This is the first episode of the new season. I'm proud to be here. My mom is watching my daughter. My wife has my son. And look at me. I'm a free man. I got a haircut. I shaved. Feels like, geez, I feel like, I don't want to say my old self, but I just feel refreshed. It's very nice. Anyway, let's keep going on. I know I've got you staring at an ad of some shoes that I looked at. We don't have any comments in yet. No, this is all pre-match stuff that hasn't really changed, but here we go. Let's see if there were any good stuff in the Settore Ospiti, the away section in Cagliari. No Totino party. Where are you? Ti amo. Kind of regular. I don't think I'm gonna. No, this picture has to be current. This has to be from today, but I'm not sure if there was any. I didn't see any type of like signature or stuff for Dybala, but I'm sure that there was something in the stands. In the next couple of days, we're going to have novations. There's going to be new things that pop up regarding his future. Supposedly, he's still undecided. I don't believe that. I think it's already done. But let's go over to Football Italia and read some headlines for now, guys. If you've gotten the chance to check out some of my stuff for Football Italia lately, I've been with them this whole summer under contract, and I had a piece about Dybala today. Got some criticism, like people like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. Like, I think the point of, maybe I should pull it up really quickly, is just a bit of a silver lining. Like, look, it's not all over. It's still possible that Roma can be competitive if they regenerate, they reinvest, they get different players, younger, hungrier players, let them mesh together. So I'll put this in the comments if you want to take a look at it. I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I think that there's situations and there's circumstances, and if Dybala plays X amount of matches, Roma are going to get hit with a massive salary against their books. Yes, they negotiated it, but they also missed out on Champions League, and I think the situation could have been different if they took advantage of that 5th spot. And look, Roma didn't. They went very far in the Europa League, lost against, at that time, an undefeated team in all of football. Leverkusen was dominating until Atalanta handed them their butts. So it's such a double-edged sword, and it's such revisionist history where you go back and say, yeah, Roma should have just ducked out of the Europa League and finished on focused on the season. Yeah, but that's not I don't want to say it's not realistic. It is realistic, but it doesn't mean that Roma shouldn't have gone in and shown like a bigger mentality to go in and fight to try to get the Europa League, because they were very close. It's not like they went out in the quarterfinals and like put in like a shoddy performance. They did very good and they almost got there. So if you have time, check that out. I put it in the comments. Anyway, Napoli. What we got a golden one here. Napoli melted like snow in the sun during unacceptable second half. Melted like snow in the sun. Conte, the philosopher. Atalanta have signed Samardzic. That's an interesting signing there. He was highly rated. Supposed to go to Milan last summer. Didn't work out. But not all good news for Atalanta. Lookman has told Gasperini not to call him up on apparently the verge of a move either to PSG or even Saudi Arabia. That hasn't been confirmed yet. I think now that Ramirez, right? That's the center forward at PSG. Now that he broke his ankle, I think they're going to sign Osimhen. I don't think they have another choice if they want to stay and go and win the league and be super competitive. Lookman's not a center forward, so he's a left winger. They'll have to figure out what to do. It'd be cool if Lookman signed for Roma, though. That'd be pretty nice. Neres is going to Napoli. David Neres, formerly at Ajax. I don't know where he's been. I think maybe in Germany, right? Since then. So, Juventus finally... Oh, no. I was going to say they released Rugani, but it looks like he's just going on loan. Also, Atalanta have a deal for Wesley from Flamengo. So it's Samardzic and Wesley, this player that Roma were supposedly looking at. They'll have signings. Koopmeiner's out, but you get Samardzic in to take his place. That's a good signing. It won't be O'Reilly from Celtic, who I actually rate a lot. You bring in Wesley. It'll be a new look. They won't be the same. But every once in a while, look, they just won the Europa League. You got to go through a little bit of a regeneration. They're not going to go and win the Scudetto, I don't think. They're not going to win the Champions League. So I think this is the right time for them to move on and start something new. Also for those players, their values are never going to be higher than they are right now. Only if they won the Scudetto. But that's very much a hope and a dream. Guys, keep the comments coming in. I'm going to check to see what people have got, what people are saying right now. Maybe I'll switch this. Let's go back to this article. Yeah, I'll just post this in because that's kind of like the hot topic of the day. Germanicus points out that Dovbyk did nothing. The easy response here is that he needs time, but I also think that he's not a false nine. He's not going to check the way Xerxes does. So once the team movement gets better and Roma are better in possession in the opponent's half, Dovbyk will really shine. But I don't think he's a hold-up center forward the way that Lukaku was. He's the guy who's going to get on the end ball rather than be totally incorporated within the build-up. So, yeah, those are some thoughts here on Dovbyk. Marco says, Roma still have no midfield. Our attackers lack support, and defense is way too low, and they still play zonal defense, not man marking. Just pure garbage. Geez, Marco, let us know how you really feel. I've got some comments coming in here from Patrick that we know. He says, Roma could have been Zalewski. That would have helped. He says, don't get into the socio-political history of Napoli. Maybe for another day. What do you think, Patrick? But to Marco's point here, the midfield did get run over. This is why I think you do need an intermedio, a true box-to-box player, somebody with more speed and endurance to really shake things up. Because if they play the way they did today, they're going to get run over by faster teams, simply put. Germanicus says, the attack was so bad, Mancini had to come forward. Okay. Mancini and his positional awareness. I have my own reservations about Mancini, and I just don't know if the high line is for him. I think he does much better in a 3-back, where he's on the right side, actually, of a 3-man back line, where he puts balls in. But for him to be a center back who pushes forward and typically sits a little bit beyond the halfway line of the opponent's half, I don't know if that's him. Android Meme points out Dovbyk gets 0 service, but he's afraid that many others like Dovbyk will come to Roma just to fail. No. It's way too early. It's too premature to even go down that road. Matt says, I don't think the issue is Pellegrini or Cristante. The issue is them playing together. They don't complement each other well enough. Agreed. Yes, Ramos. Sorry. Thank you, Sine. Agreed. So they just don't work. They're not compatible players together. And Marco seconds that about Dovbyk getting zero service. So conclusion is it doesn't matter what player you get. What matters is the movement, player chemistry, and patterns of movement. Yeah. So like it's way too early. Roma's got to get their whole game plan better, coordinated. Let's see who comes in. Let's see how this team can become a lot more cohesive before we judge Dovbyk. Pale blue dot. Do you think Dybala leaving is going to be good for us? Bro, we are going to move backwards. It's not that I think it's going to be immediately good for us. Don't get it twisted. The thing is that there's a couple different points of view. I'm not saying any one of them is right. I'm giving you a perspective. My perspective, one of my perspectives, is that when you have a player who plays 57% of the time, as Patrick pointed out to me yesterday or the day before, it really does hurt chemistry. It will hinder the development of Sule if they're both fighting for time. Dybala is not a great player in a 4-3-3. That's really not his thing. He needs a little bit more freedom. He's hurt a lot, and he takes a big toll on the salary. So from that viewpoint, it's the best thing. It is one of the best things that Roma can move on from him, from his wages, get a transfer fee, and reinvest. On the other hand, another way of thinking, and one of the emotional ways of thinking, is that I'm going to really miss a player that I love watching, that I've loved watching. One of my favorite player since Palermo, since he went to Juventus. And that really hurt when he went there. It really hurt me a lot because I loved him. There were rumors about Roma signing him, 10 years ago now at this point. Ultimately, he ends up at Roma, and I'm elated. Even when he does play, it's completely different. Roma built a reliance on this player. It's going to affect me. I'm always going to miss seeing Dybala. On the other end, it's time. One of the ways of thinking is that it is time. I'm not unanimously saying my opinion. I didn't say this on Twitter. I didn't say this on YouTube over the summer. So it would be nonsense for me to come and tell you guys, look, it's absolutely the right moment for Dybala to leave unequivocally. Look what he's doing to wages. No, I want Dybala to stay indefinitely until he's an old man and see what he could do with Sule and Dovbyk and whoever the heck is signed out on the left, whether that could have been Chiesa, and Roma could have marched to the Scudetto if you signed Chiesa, and to the Champions League. That would have been amazing. I'm just offering you a point of view. Thank you. Marco, why do we play so wide by the sidelines practically? Probably because they're trying to add some width as Coyote got really tight in defense. He says, we always play by the sideline, trying to play some idiotic triangles rather than long balls. They do these overloads a lot, these little triangles and shapes trying to get the better. I think that they were really trying to pull the defenders out. Ioannis, what's up, said, I think we have good talent. The real issue is that our passing is not incisive. Passing was bad today. When an opposition knows how to do the low block. Dovbyk, Sule, Lefebvre, all get passes today. Yeah, agree. Let them acclimate. This is their first time in a new league, in a very difficult league. Samson, what's up? Says with Dybala gone, the team is going nowhere. It's back to where they were before the arrival of Jose. They were better before the arrival of Jose. I liked Roma coached under Fonseca more than I did Mourinho. If I'm going to be totally honest with you, they played better football. They just didn't have the players. So that's my take on that. Massimo says, selling Dybala is equivalent to selling Totti. No. Sule and Baldanzi are still very young to lead this team. Roma with Dybala are a potential top 4 team. Without Dybala, they are a top 6 team. Maybe right now. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that when Dybala goes, that transfer fee is used to strengthen across the board. Yeah, I think Cristante is going to end up becoming like the coach of Roma at this point. He's going to be De Rossi's assistant. You know what? He's going to end up being like that guy in Ted Lasso, the guy who used to clean up Nate. Cristante is Nate from Ted Lasso. He's going to be running Milan or Inter all the way to the Scudetto in spite of Roma. Ioana says, I hope we keep Paulo. Same. But even if we can't, there's too much damn dependence on his chance creation. The system needs to create chances, not just a number 10. And I love watching Trequartista. Yes. Yes, the system needs to be perfected. And that's one thing which hurts a system. When you have a guy who plays in just over half the amount of eligible matches, it hurts the chemistry and the overall system. And then he becomes a crutch. Dybala was very much a shoulder to lean on for when there were no solutions. But these boys have to learn to play. Sine says, you're taking better football over accomplishments. I don't know, bro. Are we really going to talk about the Conference League? I even forgot what it was called for a split second. Come on, man. The accomplishments of the Conference League. They got to the Europa League final. They got to the semifinal against Manchester United, which was a great team with Fonseca. And those players were really terrible. So I don't even want to and that's crazy. Yeah, they played significantly better. Were they collapsed and played good tournament football? Yeah. Were they terrible in Serie A? They were pitiful, Sine. Pitiful. Marcus says, I liked Roma with Spalletti. Strong, direct, and offensive. Yes. Yes. Spalletti's Roma is the best Roma of the past 20 years. First and second tenure. Marcus says, what a gosh. Anyways. Yeah, anyways. Let's keep on going. We're 32 minutes in. And yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to check Football Italia one more time and see if any comments have popped in. No, nothing yet. 1930. I'm going to guess that this was just posted by Peter on Football Italia. No, this is just stuff before. Mancini was just saying that the new guys are hungry. They want to be here. Us older guys, we try to help them in every way they can. But this is, of course, Mancini's regarding Lefty, Soule, Dovbik, Dahl, and Matt Ryan, the 5 new players to come in thus far. Okay. Matt says he agrees with Ioannis' first point. We just need more incisive passing in the final for the third. And, well, we've got the player who was the best in Serie A last season. He's only 21, and he's doing that now for Roma. So let Soule cook for sure. Patrick messaged me on WhatsApp and says, no system fixes Zalewski starting over El Shaarawy and messing up one flank. Ooh, that's a situation to watch. Zalewski, he's not totally. He's a rotational player for Roma. He's 22 now. If he doesn't improve big time this season, which I'm not sure I believe that he will, then his value is going to stagnate. His contract is just going to keep getting that much older, and his value will decrease. So if Roma are considering, even half considering a sell for Zalewski, this is the summer, and I have to imagine that Ghisolfi is considering that based upon value, age, contract, and performance level. As Patrick just points out to me privately that, yeah, he can't really control the flank, but today he did have one or two good moments, I guess, right? I wonder, honestly, you guys are going to kill me. I wonder what it would have been like if Roma actually signed Zaniolo instead. I'm not going to make a case for it. I'm just throwing that out there. I think I just want to drive you guys crazy and see if that would be I wonder what that would have been. But now he's at Atalanta, and they're getting rid of Lookman. So they got Samardzic, and who else? We said Wesley. They're going to be a weird team. Anyway, we're going to go a couple more minutes. We are approaching 5-minute mark. Really good. A couple new subscribers here. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining me. Just looking at my content. I've made enough money almost to buy a cup of coffee this month, but not at Starbucks and not at Dunkin' Donuts, more like at the gas station. That's what I could afford from YouTube so far. That's pretty good. I count that as a win. So anyway, yeah, just looking over the statistics real quick. Still waiting on any comments that might be coming in. And as I had mentioned earlier, if you've got the time, check out the perspective I give about this Dybala piece. Some comments. Most underrated person in our squad is Baldanzi, says Alec. Alec, first time here, perhaps? Nice to see you. Matt says he thinks that Zalewski was better today than basically all of last season, though still a lot of work to do. Okay, very good. Alex says, one more time, most underrated person is Baldonzi. I want to touch upon this. Baldonzi is proving to be an essential component of this squad. He offers something that, especially when Dybala leaves, that none of the other players do. He's small, he's shifty, he is very good in tight spaces, can dribble out of them, can pass out of them, and he's very creative. If you get him closer to the final third too, he can hit a nice shot. He's not a power shooter, but he is a precision-based one. And I wouldn't be surprised if sooner or later he's taking the free kicks, but probably not with Sule. Maybe if he's on the left side, he'll take them. Marco says, would we be happy if Dybala leaves and Chiesa arrives? Zaniolo? Yes, please. Happy is a strong word, Marco. I think I would be satisfied within the parameters of what the club can do financially. Happy, no, because I'm never going to be happy to see Dybala leave. Satisfied with Chiesa? Yes, that would be very nice. I think the fans could really get behind him. Jonas says, what do we think of Dovbyk, Chiesa, Baldonzi, Sule front four? Again, in case Paulo is injured. So the way that you would do this, Sule on the right, Dovbyk up top, Chiesa left, Baldonzi center, I think it would be brilliant. But I think if you do that, Jonas, what you do need is you definitely cannot play Paredes with Cristante or even Paredes with Pellegrini. I think that maybe with Pellegrini or Lefty, but Lefty would have to sit a little bit deeper as a true regista, and Paredes would have to do a lot of dirty work. So I'd like to see how they could work that one out. I think it's an interesting shout, though. No, I don't want to take money from anybody. I'm not I thought about doing a membership, but not until we're at 2,000, 2,500 subscribers, where there's a lot of comments and it's almost difficult for me to look through. But for now, give your money to your family, or go buy yourself a coffee. But thank you, I appreciate that. Kaze's here says Dybala should stay one more season, and I echo that. Because now this is my true opinion. This is not perspective. My true opinion is I was having this conversation over dinner on Saturday night. I went down to Asbury Park, down the shore, to a nice French restaurant, having a beautiful steak, elegant glass of wine from the Alsace-Lorraine territory in France. Speaking about the finer points of calcio. And one thing my buddy pointed out, and I agreed with him, was look, this opportunity that Paulo gets is going to be there. Unless there's a catastrophic injury, he's going to get the same offer this year, next year that he was getting this year. So he should stick around for one more season, let Roma figure it out with the books, and sell Zalewski or whoever you got to Cristante instead, and keep Dybala. Figure it out accounting-wise. It's not my job. I'm the sporting director. But if I were, that's what I absolutely, unequivocally would have been doing. Dybala should stay for him because he's going to get the same offer next year, and he should stay one more year for Roma's sake, because he's going to get them a Scudetto if they keep on going and adding to the team. They could really go for broke this year. Alex says, my point with bringing up Baldonzi on the right central mid with an objective of ball progression forward is precisely asking why Dybala cannot fulfill that role in the starting 11. I think I'm a little confused. I'm not sure if there's a question mark on the end of that. Can you rephrase that? Johanna says, you probably need Lefty and Paredes behind. I think I hear my mom coming in. Yeah, you're going to need some muscle. Mohammed says, I think Baldonzi, Bove should be the core of our team. Interesting, because we haven't seen Bove get any minutes, and he's rumored to be getting sold to Fiorentina. Alex says, I struggle to see why everyone thinks Lorenzo is an attacking third player. He definitely is. Think of how he plays for the national team with Spalletti out onto the left. He did very good. I got to see him in person. He looked awesome as this left attacking inverted winger. I liked it a lot. For years, we've been trying to push this formula. Okay. Marco says, I would pay just to be able to talk against Jose and Cristante and get my comments stand out bolded. That's great. Coming soon. Alex says, Pellegrini is an underrated defensive player. Lorenzo, not an attacking midfielder. He's a deep playmaker and average. So different takes on it. I just do think that given the salary Pellegrini is on, he needs to really prove that game in. and game out. But anyway, guys, we are 40 minutes in. We're going to call it here. Thank you very much for joining. Please remember to throw a like and a subscribe. Stick around my channel, if not daily, bi-weekly, or a few times a week content, whether it's shorts or whatever. See me on Twitter, on Instagram. And thanks again for joining in today. So last comment here from Alex says Pellegrini's best season was not his season with us. It was his final season with Sassuolo, playing as a carrilero. So interesting there too. Intermedio. Bye, Dramaticus. See you guys later. Thank you.